Rocket sports fans. We're post-football, post-Thanksgiving, and ready to roll into another season. We have basketball just around the corner. And Coach Hodge, gosh, it just seems like yesterday we were finishing up in the regional championship to me against Henderson, and now here we are again in the post Taylor Guess era too, and we'll talk about that with these girls. Of course, we want to welcome in your two returning starters, Elliot Evans and Anna Boone, and Coach Shannon Hodge, the Lady Rocket Hall of Famer, and 31 years into your basketball career. Does it seem like it's been that long, Coach Hodge?
Some days it does, some days it doesn't.
Well, I want to welcome everyone to the show, basketball version, and we want to thank our partners in this, of course, Whitetail Properties, Mark Williams Land Team, H&H Home and Hardware, First United Bank, La Delicia Mexican restaurant at the Darwin Plaza in Marion, Farmers Bank and Trust on the same street corner since 1899, Frazer Law Firm right across the street there, Bart Frazer, C-Plant Federal Credit Union. C-Plant is for everyone. It's like a bank, but have many other options there for you. YTG Insurance, that's Tanner Tabor. And then Rocket Tire down next to what used to be the old Pomada building, which is H&H Home and Hardware now. We appreciate all of our sponsors who bring you this opportunity to talk to the Lady Rockets and their coaches during basketball season. So, Coach Hodge, let's get right into it. We're just kind of going to take a look at the outlook for 2023-24. That's hard to get out of your mouth too. When you think back, gosh, 31 years you've been at it, and last year was one of your best. So you know how to come off. You had a team in 2011 that went to the state tournament, won the region, and you know how to bounce back after big years. So what do we have on tap with the Lady Rockets this version?
Well, you know, it's great because we have a lot of kids on the team this year that were a part of that team last year. You know, there are several that don't have a whole lot of experience as far as varsity playing time, but they were around to get to experience that, and I think that'll be huge for us as we start the season. But you know, we're gonna be a work in progress, I believe, all year long. We're very young. We don't have any seniors. We don't have any juniors. You know, we did lose the three freshmen that were huge. You know, Taylor and Natalie and Addie were the backbone of our team for a couple of years, or for several years, and so we miss their presence on the floor, but we also miss their leadership off the floor. We've had a couple of injuries early on that have taken a couple of our kids that would have either been starters or quick off the bench, and Elle McDaniel and Chloe Hunt. We've lost them for the season, but when you look around, I think we have a lot of potential sitting there. We've got, Anna and Elliot coming back, and Anna's the second year. She started for 2 years, Elliot for 1 and played a lot. Then her 8th grade year is 2. So these two are going to be depended heavily on for leadership on the floor, for that experience. But we have a lot of potential. I think we have a lot of athleticism. And we got an ability to shoot the basketball. We can go a little bigger. I think, when you look at a couple of kids that we have, like Briston Rushing and Andrea Federico and Morgan Stewart, Charlie Mundy, those kids that have played inside, got some minutes for us a little bit last year. We have the ability to go big too. So, as we get started, we're just going to have to see what kind of combinations work for us, what kind of defenses work best for us, and just try to grow and mature as we go along the way, and just see what happens.
Yeah. Of course, the $1 million question, and everybody you talk to about Lady Rocket basketball is like, gosh, how are they going to replace Taylor Guess? Where are they going to get all those points from? Because night in, night out, she put up some big numbers. all-time leading scorer in program history. In fact, in all basketball, no boy had ever scored more points than Taylor Guest finished her career with. And you could count on her dropping 20 to 30 on a given night and getting you 10 or 12 or 15 rebounds. Mm-hmm. And so where does that come from? In order to put up the offensive numbers you're going to need, where do you get that? I know these two girls have to score more. Right. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, you don't replace a Taylor Guest. Mm-hmm. You just don't. But I think we're going to try to spread those. Hopefully, those points will spread out among several people. Of course, Anna and Elliot are going to be counted on to put up points night in and night out, and I think they're very capable. Elliot and Anna both can shoot the three. Elliot gets out in transition. Anna finds her a lot in transition. They're both, I think, much improved off the bounce, and can shoot the pull up or get to the rim. And so they are both going to have to be people that we depend on to score. But then, I don't think there's anybody that we put on the floor that isn't capable of scoring some. Right now in our scrimmages, our three other starters, Andrea Federico probably got the most minutes last year as a returner off the bench, and Andrea has the capability of scoring. She can go inside or outside. We've tried to have her work on her 3-point shot a little bit too, and she's hit a couple of those in our scrimmages, and so she's capable of scoring. We've got Briston Rushing, who I believe can bring us a new potential in the post. She's 5'10", very long, and we look to her a lot to post up, to pin, and get the high-low look for her. And she's doing a good job. She's somebody who has had some injuries, just some nagging things that have bothered her the last couple of years, that have kept her off the court. And so she's just kind of through the summer and then in this preseason, I think, getting into a little bit of basketball condition and kind of finding her way out there and gaining some confidence. And I think she can give us a whole different dimension inside. Georgia Holman is another sophomore that has been starting in the scrimmages, and Georgia has hit some big 3-point buckets for us, and she's real scrappy and she can get out and run in transition, and she's another one that just has to gain that confidence. So from that perspective, I think all 5 people that we've put on the floor first in our scrimmages are capable of scoring, and then coming off the bench, our first perimeter sub is Jordan Hodge, and Jordan shot the ball pretty well, and she can get out in transition and run too. Morgan Stewart is, just really strong inside, has some nice moves around the basket. She rebounds pretty well, so Morgan can score as well. And then you go with Charlie Mundy, and Charlie, I think, is going to be somebody who we can put in and play the 4 or the 5 spot. She's got a nice 3-point shot, Charlie does, and so depending on kind of how other people's posts are playing, if they don't want to come out and they want to clog up the inside, we can put Charlie in the game and let her go out to the perimeter and hit a couple threes. But she's got good hands and rebounds the ball well too. Then we've got Madison Walker, who was out last year and has really been out for about a year and a half or so with some health issues, and she's coming back and just kind of getting back in the knack of playing. And she's a hustler, and so we've got a lot of potential there.
Mm-hmm. You bring these girls in, get a comment from them on y'all are smiling big now. You get your chance, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll just start with Anna. Anna, you're the leading returning scorer for the Lady Rockets. Do you feel like there's a burden on you? There's a lot of weight on you. Score a lot more points this year. How many points do you think you can give them night in, night out, and how many do you believe you need to give them?
Well, last year I averaged around 8 or 9 points, and with Taylor being gone, I know I have to average more than that.
I believe you averaged more than that last year. I believe she was in double figures last year, wasn't she?
Right at it, I think.
Yeah, I think you were 10 or 11 points last year.
Well, I definitely got to get higher than that.
Yeah. What are you looking for?
15, 16, maybe 20.
Yeah. So what part of your game do you feel like you've improved on that can give you another 8 or 10 points?
Well, last year I ran the floor and stood in the corner while Taylor brought up the ball, but this year I'm the main ball handler. So really just working on my ball handling moves and getting around my defense to look for the open people or drive in for the layup.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like this is Taylor handling the ball like you said, and then now do you feel like that's with the leading scorer having the ball in their hands, bringing it to the floor, make things happen right off? Does that fit your other personnel?
Well, I don't really like making the plays or calling the plays, but I'm gonna have to do it, and I know that, so I'm working on that.
Yeah, well, maybe one of your teammates could take over some of that point guard responsibility.
Yeah.
Are you eyeballing one over there?
Yeah, Elliot.
Yeah. So, Elliot, I think you averaged 8 points and maybe 3 rebounds or so last year, something to that effect. What do you feel like that this season you have to come away with for us to? I mean, it's going to be hard to repeat what we did last year as a team. How many wins? 25 wins last year. Berth in the regional championship game doesn't happen at a small school very often. It'd be hard to repeat that, but what do you think, Elliot, that for you all to be successful, have a winning season, what do you have to produce?
Like Anna, I definitely have to score more than I did last year, maybe 15 or 16 a game, and definitely more rebounds. And I just got to play good defense because that's really what I've been working on lately.
Yeah. How do you score more points?
I mostly like to shoot the ball, but I've been working on it practice.
That's a good way to score, is to shoot the ball, right?
Well, yeah, but I've
as
been
opposed
to
to
driving the ball.
Okay. Yeah.
With Anna helping her
So
out.
outside shooting, perimeter type shooting, and you knocked down some threes. We had to just mention while we're talking about this in the day long scrimmage we had out here. 4 scrimmages, one after 4 teams, one afternoon. Very short scrimmages. We played Hopkins Central, Union County, Hancock County, and Caldwell County, and. I know they're short, but we did outscore the opponents in each of them. I think Caldwell, the scoreboard was kind of off at different times. I don't know, but based on what was on the scoreboard at the end of that game, I think Elliot made a 3 to win that game. Now, whether that was correct or not, I don't know, but that's what was on it. And then Georgia, I think it was when we were playing. Was it you?
Hancock.
I think Hancock.
Hancock County got hot. I mean, and you talk about her with confidence, and she did. You could just see her glow all of a sudden, and she came right down the floor and made another one. Then I think the next time down the floor, she drove maybe drove around a defender and took it to the basket. And those are the things you need to happen. And these girls shooting, you gain some confidence, and then more can build on that, right?
Right. I mean, I like I said, I believe everybody we put on the floor is capable of scoring. And these two definitely have been there and understand the pressure of the varsity game. And I think you're going to see them develop and continue to mature. And I'm glad to hear them say they're expecting more out of themselves, scoring and rebounding as well, because we have to have it. But, I think you're going to see people like Georgia Holman and Federico and Rushing and the rest of them. I think you're going to see them as they see themselves do things in a game situation, the confidence that they have in themselves just kind of blossom as we go. I know I believe they can do it, and so I think we just have to get in that game frame of mind. And it's been real hard with the people that we've had missing to even play 5-on-5 and practice a lot, and so getting that game-like simulation and practice is hard. I think once we get rolling with season and we're playing other people and we're getting that level of competition on a daily basis, I think that we're really going to start to see that improvement on an individual and team basis as well.
Yeah. Girls, I'll let you answer this one. This team you have some finesse players. You have your good shooters. You have a lot of length, really, with this team, quickness on defense. and you've got some just brute strength. The question I have for you is, if you were in a dark alley and you encounter some thugs, who off your team do you want with you? Who you want?
Definitely Fed.
Who do you want?
Definitely Fed.
That's who I was thinking too. Because I'm going to tell you, she is strong. She's got square shoulders. I know what she can do to a softball. And listen, she is incredible on the basketball floor. She had that white shirt on the other day, and she just she looks good in a uniform.
Yeah.
Coach Hodge, and she's really going to be a player. I see her coming out this year.
Yeah,
don't you?
I think he will. And Federico is probably, pound for pound the strongest kid on our team.
One of the strongest I remember having around here.
Yeah, and I think she's just starting to figure out how to use that strength on the basketball court. I've seen her, in the scrimmages battling people, and I'm constantly coaching them about, getting your position before someone else does, and use, from hips down, use that strength to kind of keep people where you want them. And I've seen her kind of try to, she's figuring that out.
Mm-hmm.
So, she's one that I think can really maybe surprise some people with the things that she's able to do.
Yeah. All right, I got you another question, girls. You've got 5 seconds left in the game. You got one pass down the floor. You're going to have you're trying to get somebody open over on the wing for that last 3-point shot. Can't be one of you. Okay, who you getting the ball to?
Jordan.
Jordan Hodge.
Mm-hmm.
Who you getting the ball to? Jordan Hodge. So that's an 8th grader, and it's your daughter. So I know you've got a lot of confidence in her, and I know it's tough sometimes coaching your own child and to talk about your own child. But she's going to have to come up and play some minutes for us this year, a lot of minutes, and carry. And they have confidence in her. Do you have confidence in her being able to come up and play in a varsity role like that here as an 8th grader?
I think Jordan definitely has the potential to be able to do it. She's worked really hard on her shot in the past 6 months or 8 months or whatever it's been since season was over last year. She does want to get in the gym and work. And so her shot's gotten better. She's got to from a strength perspective, and she's plenty strong. I think she just has to get used to playing against the more physical, game at the varsity level. But I do have confidence in her. I think she's got a lot of maturing to do. Just herself in handling getting bumped and handling. Those touchy situations without letting it bother her. I'm glad these guys have got confidence in her. But she is somebody who's going to have to play for us with the absence of Chloe Hunt and Elle McDaniel. Yeah. She's got to be she's our next perimeter player, and so. She is going to have to be counted on, and I think as the year goes, again she'll develop, and it'd be nice to let her play the point a little bit and put Anna back out there on the wing and get these two running ahead of the ball and Georgia ahead of the ball and see what they can do with it in a catch situation, not a give up situation.
And just Chloe Hunt, just to kind of mention this, was kind of the player that was going to be able to give Ann an opportunity to get away from that point guard, get her over there where she can run for a little more freely without the ball and get some things happening there. So losing her, you've kind of had to redevelop a plan.
Right, and we're still working on that.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're a work in progress. But, Chloe just naturally out of this sophomore class is probably the verbal leader. And, so these two are having to, and the rest of them, I'm challenging them all to be more vocal because Chloe can't be out there on the floor with them. And so they're trying to get that figured out, and we'll get better at it as we go.
We'll take just a moment, and we're going to recognize and give some of our partners here some love. So we'll be back in just a moment. back. We're going to talk a little bit about defense now. These girls, we've asked them some questions. Kind of put them on the spot a little bit. I'm going to put you on the spot one more time here. So you're going to play. You got a game coming up on the other team, whoever it is. Buzzard County, we're getting ready to play, and their best player is just like Taylor Guess. I mean, she can do it all. You got to pick somebody out of your players, your teammates, that's gonna stop that. Who you going with?
Are we talking about Victoria?
Huh?
Who are we talking
I'm
about?
talking about a fictitious person. Yeah. Well, you alluded to one of Livingston's players who you think is pretty good too.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is Buzzard County. It's a fictitious team, and the girl that's on their team is a Taylor Guest type player. You got to get her stopped. So because we don't put any individuals in this little story. So this scenario is all fictitious, made up. But who you going to put out there? Who can't be one of you? Who you going to use to stop this other stalwart of a player you're going to be up against?
Georgia.
Georgia Holman. All right.
I was gonna say Fed.
Federico. So two different kind of players a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Analyze what they just told you, and what do you think about that?
Well, I think I can. I think Anna's thinking quickness.
Yeah.
Probably, and trying to maybe keep her from catching the ball when she gives it up. I think Elliot's probably thinking strength, and Fed's pretty quick too. So I think a player like Taylor Guess, I think I'm gonna have to agree with Elliot on this one. With if I couldn't use one of these two, I think it would be Fed. I think it kind of has to depend on whether they're a primary ball handler. If they were, it could be one of these two as well, which I feel very, very fortunate that we have, who I can consider 3 and 4 people that we could put on a player like that. And I think, it might require 3 or 4 of us, or at least a couple of us, to be able to defend someone like that. But I have a lot of confidence in our defensive ability. I think as an overall team, we have to have more of a desire to play, defense as dictators, defense as stoppers, not defense as reactors. But I think, we had a scrimmage on Saturday against Ballard County, and the first 2 quarters we kind of played even with them. I think we outscored them maybe 5 or 6 the first quarter, and I think we tied them the second quarter, and then we issued a little bit of a challenge about our defense, and I think we ended up outscoring them by 25 or 30 points in the remaining quarters. And, it was the same group of girls for us and for them, and it was just the flip of the switch as far as defense goes. And so, I know I've been pretty hard on them, and I'm going to continue to be, because I think we have an ability to create some havoc with our defense if we'll play it like we're capable. Because, everybody in our starting lineup has decent quickness, and we have good length, and, we can bring that the same type play off the bench with Jordan. We lose a little quickness with our post subs, but we can still be strong, and as long as we're getting after it, I think we can create a lot of offense with our defense.
Everybody hates to play a team that plays you tight defense. Mm-hmm. Those Webster County teams over the years, they're just all over you. Mm-hmm. And I know you like to, your bread and butter is that man defense. And how does this team stack up? I mean, you say they're good. Are they like some of those Webster County? Can we play that kind of defense?
Well, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But I think we can be.
Yeah.
We're drilling different things, and I think it just, you have to develop a pride in that, and I think that as we again mature, I think that pride will develop. I think the understanding of how to play it, and I'm coaching them and pushing them and expecting of them what I would expect of any team, and nobody's got a driver's license on our team. I mean, they're young. Yeah. But I'm not going to stop expecting that. And I think the sooner they realize that they're the ones that are there to do it, and they can, and we continue to work at it, I think we can be a team like that for sure.
Well, it's probably a blessing and a curse not having anyone with a driver's license on your team. But getting to practice is sure made more difficult sometimes.
Yeah, well, once they get there, they're not going to leave.
That's
so
right. And you always have a pretty good idea where they're at.
Yeah.
And, keep better tabs on them now without license. But so, Coach Hodge, let's talk just a little bit about the district. Kind of break it down. Livingston returns a lot. Line returns a lot. Trigg County's got some rebuilding to do, and we lost a lot, but we should still be there in the mix.
Yeah, I think we'll be right there in the mix. I think every district game will be a dogfight, just like most 5th district years are. You can kind of throw out past games and records and everything when you play a 5th district game. But, like you said, Livingston's got everybody. Well, they have one, I think, that's not going to be playing, but they've got everybody back pretty much. And Lyon County lost one of theirs. And so the two of them will be strong. They'll be tough. But I feel like we will be too. Trigg County does have some rebuilding to do. They lost the Knopfsinger girl and another couple that were key players for them. But it's Trigg County. Trigg County seems like they're always a wild card, but they're always come to play. And so like I said, every game will be tough, but we'll have to be ready. And it's I think 3 of our first 6 games are district games. So ready, set, go. I mean,
do you like it? I mean, obviously somebody likes it because we've scheduled that over the years.
Well,
or did it evolve?
I can tell you back several years ago, the thinking behind that was that you want to try to get your district games in. You have to have them in
snow or weather,
right? And so we also wanted to try to play district games on Friday nights as much as we could. And so that's just kind of how it has set up. It's kind of how they fell with the Class A tournament in mid-January. That kind of takes a hunk of the time out that you can use as well. And so I'd like to have another couple games under our belt before we go into district play.
Yeah.
But everybody's in the same boat. So
Of course, you look around the region. You've got Christian County is going to be possibly I would say preseason favorite right now. You've got Madisonville and Henderson. Every year in, year out, those 3, you can set them up here in a different category. The rest of it, I mean, the teams in the 5th district are right there, and all of our teams.
Yeah, I think the region's wide open. I agree with you that Christian ought to be up there. Madisonville ought to be. They've got several people back, and they're big schools that can kind of reload a little quicker. And Henderson as well. And Henderson had a coaching change, so that's going to be interesting to see how that works. I think a couple of their players transferred to some Owensboro schools, and so. It'll be interesting to see what they're like, but they ought to be up there as well. And then I think it's wide open. I have confidence that we're going to get better as the season goes, and if we can maintain health and well-being of the people that we have left here, then I think we'll be competitive.
Yeah. Girls, come back to you before we close this out. Let's talk a little bit about some of the competition around the district. Just off the top of your head, name me three of the top players in the 5th district that are not on the Crittenden County team. Players that you think.
I think Trinity Taylor from Lyon County, Victoria Joyner from Livingston, and probably Maggie Downey from Livingston are going to be tough players.
Yeah. What do you think, Elliot?
I was thinking Trinity Taylor from Lyon, Victoria from Livingston, and then Emerson Ramage from Livingston too.
Yeah. Those girls have all been starters for middle school, and they're still around. I guess Victoria Joyner probably somebody can take a ball and go do something with it, kind of a la Taylor Guess, and maybe one of the best players in not only the district, probably one of the top players in the region. So yeah, just a lot of good players around the district. I like the little point guard over at Lyon County. She just brings a lot of fire.
Piper Cottle.
I'm not saying she's the best player in the district, but I just like to watch her. I mean,
She plays with a lot of energy.
Plays with a lot of energy. And yeah, all those that Livingston County team is going to be, if they really get clicking, they're going to be a hard team to beat. So interesting season coming up for the Lady Rockets, coming off a tremendous, near record season last year for the team, second time ever to get to the regional championship. Fell just a little short of your 2011 team, Coach Hodge. Which, by the way, Coach Hodge's daughter Jessie was on that team, and now she's got their youngest daughter on this team. So maybe we can get back with some of that magic and get us another regional championship before it's all said and done. You got a pretty good foundation with these other girls, and particularly you get some of these injuries straightened out. I know that's been tough on you right out of the chute here, dealing with that, the loss of Elle McDaniel and Chloe Hunt, but for a team that didn't have a whole lot of depth to begin with.
All right. Those kinds of things, though, we've talked about. I've tried to talk to Chloe and Elle, now this gives them an opportunity to have a new perspective, try to sit there and think like coaches. And, whenever you do that, you try to up your basketball IQ when you're watching the game. And then you'll be better when you come back and you're able to play. And I really believe that. And, you can, if you watched Natalie Boone the last couple of years she played, after her injury, she tore her Achilles, and then she came back and played her junior and senior year. She was the most heady player on the floor, I thought, on our team. And that was a challenge I issued to her whenever she got hurt. And I think if they will do that, then in the long run, maybe that'll be something that's better for us, and those kind of things are life situations and things that you just out of your control, and you just have to try to handle how you react to it. And and those two kids are doing well. They're fighters, they're tough.
Yeah.
And teammates are supporting them well. So. Yeah.
Well, tough way to get an education, isn't it?
It is.
For an injury to knock you out. So, again, we want to thank our partners in bringing you the show here about the Lady Rockets and their upcoming season. Whitetail Properties, H&H Home and Hardware, First United Bank, La Delicia Restaurant, Farmers Bank and Trust, Frazer Law Firm, Seaplant Federal Credit Union, Tanner Tabor at YTG Insurance, and Rocket Tire. Coach Hodge, we opened the season, November 27th, which is Monday, the upcoming Monday, and that's going to be over at Hopkins Central, a team you played in the semifinals of the region last year, and played them the other day in this scrimmage, and it'll be interesting to see how this one pans out. And then we turn around and go down to Livingston Central and play at Smithland on Friday night. So Rocket fans will be on the road for the first week, and then we'll be back at Rocket Arena for some ball games. And we'll see you on the road for the first week, particularly that one down at Smithland. We need to put a lot of blue in the seats.
Yes, we do. And I will say, if there's anybody that haven't gotten their season tickets yet, you can still do that on GoFan. You can get a season ticket and get you into every girls and boys home game, high school game throughout the year. Only exception would be if it's a tournament game, which I know we host the first round of the Class A tournament, so it wouldn't get you in that game, but every other home game it would. And
what's the price of those tickets?
On GoFan,
it's like $30.
$40, I think,
okay,
on GoFan, and that's a huge saving for our home
for the whole season, both boys and girls.
Right, and I think that goes off on Monday, so. The season tickets
better get on
go
there
off
and get
there,
them bought. Yeah.
So you need to get them.
Get your season pass on GoFan. If you need that link, go on to the Press Online or the Lady Rockets and Rockets website online. So, all right, appreciate you girls coming in. Thank you, Coach Hodge,
Thank you.
and we'll see you at the next ball game.